welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are now in the grand finals of the Oversalt tournament of the 4th of May. I, I am Alenvil, and with me is IQ once again. So, hello, IQ. Welcome back.
Hello, I'm excited for the finals this time. You see, Oblivion, they won comfortably in the semi-finals. Now they're versus Question Mark to seal the deal, see who the best in this tournament is.
Yeah, exactly that. And for the people who are watching, this is the first tournament of Oversalt that is going to have the final be a best of 3 as well. So we are only going to have 3 maps at maximum. So if you were looking for a specific, like the 4th map of this tournament, there won't be any of those this time around.
Who do you think who's gonna win this finals after seeing both teams?
I'd probably say, I would say depending on the lineup which both teams run. I would say if we would see a mainly Goats lineup once again, I would probably favor Oblivion right now because they have shown that they have quite a good control. And on the other side, and they showed that they could actually answer good against Goats. On the other hand, I'm not sure about Question Mark that much because I haven't seen too much of them.
Yeah, it looks like I was about to say Rennie coming out on the bull. He's probably gonna switch back to the Diva there. They're gonna match them on Goats happily, as we've said. They're quite strong on that matchup.
Yeah, and we see Doge just moving forward. Nice play with that corner there. Doge gets the first pick on Toasted, and that could be an opening that they want to take right now. There is a bit of damage going in there on both sides. Nobody's really going down yet. The barrier goes down from Klodowski, so this should be the retreat, but Doge gets a pick off. SFX gets Klodowski as well. And right now, Mark just suicides into them, and that is a cleanup.
It was a really clean fight from Oblivion there. You see at the start of the fight, as the teams were setting up, a huge boop comes in, booping 3 of the enemy team, displacing them, allowing Oblivion to get in there and damage a certain hero. They picked someone out, they focused that target and killed them because they were so spread out.
Yeah, definitely. And we see the fight now breaking out once again in front of the point. There is already a Transcendence going out. There was a good shadow, but unfortunately there was still the Transcendence, so they couldn't put as many damage in as they want. Toasty gets revenge on Doge for the last fight, and right now it looks like Question Mark are getting the upper hand right now, but the Graviton comes out. The Diva Bomb is there for the combo, and there is a victim pick out, but Rene goes down as well, and now they're switching, trading 1-for-1. SFX is still in there. The Transcendent is being popped as well. If they can get probably the Baby Diva, they could do something, but Mark gets a good grab there. They almost back off the point. Mark goes down as well, and they claim the first spot, barely.
Now you see that both teams losing a lot of members, but I feel like the Transcendence committed from Oblivion allowed them to stabilize. They had the Zarya, they had the Lucio with them. So just allowing the Zarya to do all that free damage without worrying about her own HP is just huge in that fight, allowing them to get another pick off that. Then Mark uses his own grab, but then he doesn't realize he's by himself. So there's no follow-up for that grab, and it allows Oblivion with the closest spawns. Not with the closest spawns, but as the timing was, they had closer spawns to win the fight there.
Yeah, and Klodowski is already taking Spacer already out, so there is the slight advantage, but it doesn't really look that they can push that advantage quite far because Oblivion was instantly backing off out of that fight, and now they're just staggering on the other side, waiting for everybody to get there. But the old charge is now kind of ticking against them right now. We see how they're just trying to move forward, and I'm waiting to see if the trap will be sprung now by Question Mark there. Klodowski gets pushed once again. That was a nice shield there, and now the Transcendence is being popped, so they threw one of their advantages already into the wind right now to take advantage of that one. They don't get much. SFX just gets the sound barrier off, so they get an advantage. The Graviton goes out, the Shatter goes down as well. Klodowski now has the Shatter as well, but 2 members are already down from the support side, and Mark goes down as well, and it looks like Oblivion will get another win in the fight.
That was really good play from Severion there. You see he pops the rally, forcing out a Transcendence from Question Mark. That's just an initiation, a chance for the Grav to come out from Oblivion. Who also commit the beat drop to allow them to stay as aggressive as they like.
And there the Diva Bomb even gets a pick off for Rene there, and they get another one fight there instantly off of that one. Nice pressure there, and that is another Point for them.
That's a great use. A Diva Bomb doesn't only have the usage for a big wipe using a grab. It also has the potential to take a lot of space away from the enemy team if used right. You can chuck the Diva Bomb into an advancing team who are like rotating, and that denies them to rotate a certain direction and allows your team to push hard using the Diva Bomb as cover.
And Doge now went a bit too far and gets to pay the price. That is a Shatter only gets a Diva, unfortunately, with that one, so not really a good one for them in that case. Now they force out the Transcendence. Perhaps they can take advantage of that, but unfortunately there is now the Graviton as well. There's another Transcendence. The Diva bump goes in. Let's see if they can take any victim, and it gets two! Hello, Low gets two of that one. Mark gets another kill, and now Oblivion's push is finally stopped.
I think what you saw there as well, Spacer committed his grab. There was no Diva Bomb to follow from Rene. However, question mark, they committed their ultimates as a combo. The grab Diva Bomb came together after using the trance and they realized they had survived the fight. And then they managed to just pull off the combo a lot better than Oblivion.
Yeah, definitely they did that, and the Reinhardt gets stunned up once again. Doge gets stunned up. They gets knocked back quite a bit. He does have a shadow ready, so he can have the advantage here, but the shield is dropping dangerously. Though Doge is now trying to hold on so he doesn't lose his shield, while Klodowski does have quite a nice shield there. The payload's still moving forward, so there's a bit of a... Oh, that was a good shatter. They couldn't take much advantage of that, but both sound barriers have been now popped and the fight is going on. Shiver gets a good hit there on Toasty, and another shatter unfortunately goes off, and Doge kills off Klodowski, and we see Zenyatta running around trying to heal his team with the Transcendence, but doesn't get much out of that one. And now the counter Transcendence comes out while they win the fight, and the payload moves forward.
Now, although question mark are going to come out with staggered spawns, I don't know if they're going to be able to touch the cart here, but they do have that free grab if they manage to contest, because Gosh has used his Transcendence there.
Yeah, Shatter, there's the grab, the Diva Bomb going in, another grab. Diva Bomb gets a victim, no, nobody goes down, but Doge got 2 kills, gets a third one, and I think this could be the end of that one, and they reach almost the point. Klodowski barely touches the point, and they focus down the Wrecking Ball nicely this time.
So you see there, they realized question mark still had their grab and they used the Transcendence. So Spacer smartly saved his personal bubble as a method to block the Diva Bomb, allowing his team to survive and not lose that Grav Diva Bomb, lose to that Grav Diva Bomb.
Yeah, that was really nicely played by
Overall,
them.
pretty comfortable from Oblivion, but question mark did show signs of being able to contest this Goats versus Goats matchup.
Yeah.
Coming into attack as well. We'd see if question mark have any pre-planned strats or if they're going to match them on the Goats now. I would expect Oblivion to come out on the Goats as well, as they've showed in the semi-finals. They're a very Goats-based team, and why not if you're this good at it?
I'd say perhaps switch a bit around, and in the case of question mark, perhaps toss in a Sombra instead of perhaps, I don't know, perhaps instead of a Brigitte or something like that, that you toss in the Sombra, get the MP out, that you can actually enable your team a bit more with the Diva Bombs and all that stuff. It could work out nicely for them.
Looks like they'd rather go for a Torp, to be honest. Nah. Thing you notice about Oblivion's gameplay, which you're seeing that other teams don't have, is their usage of ultimates. They're very calculated in what they use. They notice their win conditions quite well. Even if they lose a few members, they use their support ults not as merely a support ult to be defensive, but they use it to be even more offensive. As you see here as well, they're holding the spawn.
Oh, this is interesting.
I think question mark recognize this. They come out on the Bastion, which can be used quite cleverly here to get a lot of damage off into a team that holds the spawn.
They get two kills already, and that the old school nowadays Finnish hold strat doesn't really work out. Then the Bastion, they even throwing out the Bastion now, they're not even going to take advantage of the Bastion even further. He's going back to the spawn and now switching over to...
Yeah, usually you'd see the Bastion there when a team holds spawn, and it seems like question mark heard the enemy team stacking that corner, go on the Bastion, take the high ground, and the rest of your team push out. They can't focus the Bastion. He has just free reign over the enemy team.
Yeah, and And I think this is one of the important things. Tudowski gets a good hit there, nice shatter there, and 3 victims instantly, and that is a 1 fight for question mark. No question marks for that fight for them.
Nah, yeah, question mark actually showing a lot of comfort on this attack. I would have expected Ex-Oblivion to put up a more of a defense, but after that first fight, losing that, they seem to have lost their momentum here. We'll see if they can contest here and make one last fight on point A.
Yeah, they barely make it onto the point. Shatter unfortunately doesn't do much damage there, and they do use the Transcendence on the side of question mark when they're trying to take advantage. And now the counter Transcendence, the grab goes out as well. Spacer gets 2 picks off there, and they get a 3rd pick off, 4th, 5th, and that is a 1 fight for them.
Now you see they committed the Rhine Shatter first, and often when you have grab and you know the enemy team has a Transcendence, you can commit your commit your Shatter to try and bait out the support ultimate from the enemy team. Even if you don't hit anyone, at this rank the Zens have such fast reactions that they can try and press Q expecting the Shatter to land. Now, but the thing is, he expected the Shatter to land and popped his Transcendence, giving Spacer a free grab, and that's how they won that fight.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the points that were really important there. But they're going in once again to Oblivion. Ex-Oblivion goes in there. Unfortunately, that Shatter did get 2, but oh, and they knocked the bridge off the bridge. That is an important part, actually. They got an advantage out of that one. They claimed the first point as well. They knocked the Zarya off as well, and that is a 1 fight.
And that's like the counter to my argument there. You see Klodowski, he lands a Shatter, but the support lineup, Goishaz and SFX, SFX having the beat there, played it risky. He should have played along the wall. Having beat, he would have been able to keep his team alive. If he keeps his team alive, he has to force out the grab coming out from Mark, and they wouldn't have capped the point as easily as they did.
Yeah, and right now we're seeing both sides just standing in front of each other. SFX gets toasted with that one, knocked for Brigitte off the pier there and going for a swim. Now Doge gets a pick off there as well, and now it's just Ex-Oblivion winning another fight.
And you see, I mentioned Ex-Oblivion's discipline when playing GOATs. You can be seen in when they understand that a fight is lost. See, question mark there, the Ryan slowly walked back trying to preserve his life, but sometimes you just want to die as fast as you can and get out.
Yep. Yeah, that's one of the important parts about GOATs, that you have to know when you have to just give up your life just to not stagger yourself out in some weird way.
And you can see both teams, oh, Grav coming out.
Grav, Transcendence, Diva Bump going in as well, knockback, oh, that boop was good, that got the Lucia with that one. Marks was unfortunately eating the Graviton, so they don't have that one. And we just see how Klodowski gets focused down, and that is another 1 fight for Ex-Oblivion.
Now you notice the Diva play there is really what carried Ex-Oblivion. The Grav was tossed out for quite a distance from Spacer, but he must have noticed that Halo used his Diva Matrix, allowing him to do that Grav now with that 2-second cooldown. And then after that as well, he also got a pick with his Diva Bomb after eating the grab from Mark. So the Diva play there from Rene, overwhelming Halos, just allowed them to win that fight.
Yeah.
So both teams have rally here.
Both rallies are popped as well at the same time, and now the Brawl gets once again good Shatter. They got the Diva there. Can they take advantage of that one? The Transcendence is being forced out. Klodowski goes for a swim, unfortunately, for question mark there, and it looks like this is another 1 fight for Ex-Oblivion. I think they have to switch up a bit to actually do something with this right now.
Like you said, the Sombra play can be a thing, because the EMP allows you to just ignore ult economy, disable cooldowns, and GOATS is a very cooldown based composition. The Sombra allows you to just ignore the enemy cooldowns because they won't have any with that EMP and win the fight. But it seems like they still are confident on the side of question mark to beat Ex-Oblivion on this GOATS versus GOATS mirror matchup.
Yeah, and this could be a risky proposition, but we're seeing both teams just moving in. And another Graviton gets eaten. Halo this time gets it from Spacer, so there is now the advantage on that side. The Diva Bump goes in. Can that actually take a few victims? The Sound Barrier gets popped as well.
Oh my god.
That was a good Shatter, and that was just victimizing the poor team there.
See, it's another example of the Diva carrying the team there. he notices his grav gets eaten, but he's not gonna hold his diva bomb. He can use his diva bomb to push it into the enemy team, allowing his team to take that free space. Using the diva bomb, as I said in last semi-finals, to take that space for free, and then the team is so distracted, the shatter comes off from Doge.
Yep. Okay, the Klodowski barely survives this one. Lands on a boat. There's a Graviton. There is now a Diva Bomb. Halo gets 2 with that one, so they do have a chance. The Graviton goes out. The Transcendence runs out right now, but unfortunately, Rene takes down Leon, and now they hit the Shatter. They need to take Rene off the payload. Rene knocks Klodowski off the payload. Rene loses the mech there, but they can't leave the payload alone anymore because the overtime is already ticking.
Now, Klodowski committing the shatter there was a bit of a question mark on my hand, pun not intended. He saw just 2 people and he was like, I need to kill these people before overtime activates, and shatters them, which I don't really agree with. It's just a diva you can just walk up to and kill. She's only there to contest. She's not going to get any kills from that. They're going to lack from that. Look, they have no offensive ults for this push, just rally. They would have really been able to use the shatter in this fight, which they wasted.
Yes, there would be an interesting play that they're going around. Doge is going up top, so they have to be aware of the shatter that could happen. He goes into the backline, doesn't get the shatter, but creates the space, and you just see them building the pincer. The Diva bump goes down into the Graviton. 2 victims there for that one. Halo loses the mech as well, and right now it's going not in question mark's direction. Nice shatter there, but unfortunately you're alone with 2 supports. The Transcendence gets popped now, so almost all damage is instantly gone. Halo gets back into the mech. Leonis dies and switches over to the Mora, and that is a 1 fight for Ex-Oblivion, and they win the first map.
Now you see that Ex-Oblivion noticed that Klodowski on the side of question mark was pushed up quite far. They got the grav off into the backline. The diva bomb comes into the grav, and because Klodowski can get in there and shield it, you see Severian committing his rally and bashing the Rhine in order to stop him getting into the grav, and that allows for the 2 kills from Rene's bomb to get the kills and win the fight from that.
Yeah, and I just feel like I wouldn't try to fight Ex-Oblivion anymore on a goats versus goats based comp as they're doing right now. I would try to perhaps switch in the Sombra, try to create some more chaos, because the Sombra, as you said, it can erase the ult economy that's stacked against you, and that could be an advantage they could take quite nicely.
The only issue about this is because teams scrim a lot, they practice their comps a lot, so you would have assumed question mark as well. I've seen them play before. They play the goats, just the standard mirror goats with Zen. They play that a lot, and they are usually quite comfortable beating enemy teams. But then when you meet a team which is better than you, do you decide to switch up your normal strategy and go for something new, or do you stick to your guns and just hope you beat them? But with teams where they have just huge games, huge plays coming out from individual divas and individual players like Severian and Rene, and Doge with his huge shatters compared to Klodowski's shatters, who isn't landing as many.
Yeah,
it's a really hard predicament to overcome.
Yeah, but I would say just do it now, because you're on match point anyway right now. So what do you have to lose anyway right now? You're in Hollywood, which will be our next map, and we will take a short break till both teams are ready, and then we'll be right back. Welcome back. We're on the second map of our grand final, which we still have question marks versus X Oblivion, with X Oblivion leading 1-0. I am Alenvil, and with me is IQ. Welcome back, IQ.
Thanks, man. How are you doing, Nick?
We established, I think, that for the third time now.
Yeah,
we're
man.
fine,
I'm
I
just
think,
wondering because this game, Ex Oblivion, just seemed to be dominating over all the opponents they played against. And I think it might be quite stressful to watch. Imagining all the other teams' pains. You know, your emotions can change a lot watching this game. And you
Oh,
see, Ex Oblivion might be coming out the Sombra, or they may be scouting. It looks like they might be playing the Sombra goats.
this could be actually interesting because I want to see how they
Nah,
actually
he's going
handle
back to Diva.
Oh.
Now you see the play from Diva from Rene's side on last map, and you'd say, why would you swap to Sombra? His Diva play carries Ex Oblivion a lot. And you see both teams, Ex Oblivion might want to bait them off the high ground here, fake a rotation. Looks like they're going for the rotation.
Yeah, and they instantly bit on that one, and they're just moving into that fight location. And right now it looks like they're in a bit of a pincer situation, but right now I don't know. Question mark. I don't think they want to fight there really. And now they're just rotating. Both teams are back rotating to the point, and the fight is breaking out once again. Mark gets the first pick on Doge, so they could have an advantage here, but that doesn't mean much, as we've seen quite a few times from Ex Oblivion already that they can turn this one around easily. And Leonis gets Shiveron as well, so this could actually be right now one of the question mark moments just to take it. They get another pick off there. Let's see. They get the Diva as demeched, and that is the one fight for them.
So you mentioned when Doge dies, a lot of times Ex Oblivion are able to win the fights. But that's usually because of the support ultimates available to Ex Oblivion, like the Rally, like the Transcendence, like the Beat Drop, to push into the enemy team without their Rhine. However, because it was first fight, that's what their plan is, just to build them ultimates and allow them to win without Doge if he dies. So we'll see on this fight. To go for the same rotation, I think question mark, once they push in, would try to back up, because once Ex Oblivion get into Cafe, they should have control over the fight.
No, they don't even give them the chance and answer them in the video room, and it looks like that Ex Oblivion need a pause right now. Okay, never mind. Okay, everything seems fine right now. They're going good shatter there. Oh, even a better shatter from Doge there. This could be actually the chance right now. And they do get Klodowski instantly. The Graviton gets eaten once again. This time the Divas are really reigning supreme over those Gravitons. And unfortunately that one goes through. The Diva bumps go out. Is there any victims? Nobody dies to the Diva bumps right now. And we see a bit of fight. Nizos gets 2 picks off there, and Ex Oblivion have go back to another retreat.
And you see their question mark lost their Reinhardt, and they happily backed up into the cafe. They used their ultimates to just make sure Ex Oblivion weren't able to push up into them. Waited for the Reinhardt to get back, waited for the Zen to start getting a few picks for them to push out. Their Zen got the few picks they needed, and that allowed their question mark to push back onto the point and regain control. Still no ticks on the side of Ex Oblivion. See if they do the same rotation again. And you saw last fight, they tried to bait them down, but because question mark came in with the rally, they were still able to push into Ex Oblivion, which they weren't expecting, and forcing out the Transcendence.
And there is another rally, and they're going, and they force out another Transcendence for this time. Let's see how this fight breaks down once again. Because right now,
Klodowski very spread.
Gets shattered. Good shatter there. There's an answer with that Graviton, and they're answering the Graviton really nicely. And now we have 40 seconds left for Ex Oblivion to claim the point.
There was a split second where we thought Ex Oblivion were going to win that fight, but it comes back down to the rally coming out from Toast, forcing the support ultimate in the Zen Transcendence from Gushas at the start of the fight, allowing Mark to get a free grab off during mid-fight when all the cooldowns have been used from Ex Oblivion to just sustain on the point.
Yeah, now they're going instantly onto the point. They can't really play around with the rotation anymore. And now we have the counter action for that one, but Klodowski is already dead in this case, and right now there's the Graviton as well. And this could be Ex Oblivion's chance really to claim everything. They did a good job there to get a good demech there, and they're cleaning up the fight, and they barely get the first point.
You see the Klodowski falling down as Transcendence comes out from Leo, and you hate to see it when Transcendence come out. There's also a short gap of time where teams can still overcome the Transcendence as the impact kicks in. And Oblivion noticed this, and they were able to kill Klodowski before the Transcendence got to him.
Yeah, that
The
was
next fight
good.
coming up as well, you're going to see both divas coming up with their bombs. You're going to probably see Toast initiate with Rally here, try to force out support ultimate from Oblivion's team, and then commit their grab if they build it in time.
Oh no, the Shatter and starts up and they get a good hit there, but unfortunately they can't but they take advantage of that one. Kulos gets 2 picks off of that one, a third one, and they just had to use the Shatter for that one, and they did use the Rally as well there in that fight, so 2 ults been gone, and they still have 2 left up on the board.
The main thing you notice there, though, Oblivion happily took that fight loss. They didn't use any ultimates, also known as a dry fight, forcing ultimates from the enemy defensive team, allowing you to attack next fight with a huge ult economy advantage. However, they still have the Grav Diva Bomb combo on question mark side, so it's always winnable for either team.
Yeah, and it's winnable, and now they transcended, they grabbed, and they Diva bombed already, so the Diva bomb did get a kill off of there, and they did eat the grab on the side of Oblivion, so they did get another advantage, and they did cost them 3 ults there, and they happily won that one.
That was a great defense from Oblivion. As I said, they have the Grav Diva Bomb combo. When either team has Grav Diva Bomb combo and both support ultimates, it's anyone's game in GOATS. You can see Rene coming back. He's going to have his Diva Bomb for this fight, which he didn't use. He could probably send in his Diva Bomb to create that space as they normally do, and then aggress really fast with that speed amp.
Oh, unfortunately the Shatter is there first, and they get a pick already off on Spacer there, and now they're trying to create the space once again. They don't get anything with that one, and they do force out a sound barrier, so they did get a plus with that one. Unfortunately for them, the Transcendence is almost up at the same time once again, and they don't really get an advantage out of that one.
See, normally Rene would send in his bomb as Oblivion were attacking, but however this time they lost their Zarya. Then he used it in a method that went to force a retreat from question mark. However, the bomb was so far back that all the Ryan had to do was put his shield up, and they didn't have to give up any space. Yeah,
now we're closing into the final fight territory. Klodowski is sitting there. The Graviton goes through this time. The Transcendence is popped as an answer. Klodowski now has the Graviton. The Shatter hits the Shatter there on the side. They catch him on the side. They get the Diva Bomb, and 2 victims go down with that one. Now there's a Transcending Zen as the last person there, and he gets taken down, and question mark hold quite closely to the start.
Really well played from question mark. Seems like Hollywood must be a better map than them from Rialto. They like these close corners they can play around. As you can see, they took that loss on overtime, and they managed to just hold this corner of the payload for so long, using the corner as an advantage. As attackers have to come in through the open, a lot of the side of question mark could just hide behind that corner, use that as natural cover, so they don't need the Rhine shield to be able to put down damage. Whereas Oblivion, they need to push through this open doorway and make it through in order to win, get any advantage to win the fight.
Yeah, that, and as you pointed out during the first point, most of the time they had the happy chance to just trade the Brigitte rally against the Transcendence for at least 2 or 3 fights where they just had this advantage and just took that, because honestly, you trade a rally against a Transcendence every day,
especially when you're getting that grab so fast. Yeah. Mark is building it very quickly. Another thing as well, you could, as a team, notice when a team is going to engage on you with rally, save your speed boost. Use your speed amp from Lucio to just back out of the fight, let the rally finish, and then come into the fight. Although the enemy team will have that armor, the armor disappears a lot faster than it used to. So you can take that trade out with the speed amp, get back in with your Transcendence being online and being able to survive that grab, giving you much more chance at winning the fight, and then trading it out for a rally. You can see Mark coming out on the Sombra, probably going to scout the composition of Oblivion. Now you can see on a lot of assault maps and hybrid maps where there's a point to capture and the spawns are quite close, you can just scout with that Sombra, find out what the enemy team is playing, and use that knowledge to just counter pick.
Or just go into the same pick as they do in this case as well.
That's what they do. If they see goats, they're gonna go goats. They're confident in their play. The main thing for Hollywood is the rotations on attack. Nice boot coming out.
Ooh. That was a nice boot there. Klosky does pay the price for that one, and Toasty gets a good answer on and right now they're just trading 1-for-1 all the time right now. Unfortunately, both of the tanks are 2 of the 3 tanks are already dead, but still they're getting a good advantage out of that on the side of Question Mark, and they're even clipping the point. Renee is Baby Diva, and they're letting the Baby Diva just live off there, and looks like they're even winning this fight straight up.
Really impressive play from Toast there. Although they had lost a player on their team, Toast was like, no, I am the DPS of this team now. I'm gonna kill 2 people, and he pushes up even further. He goes into that Zarya, just taking so much space off Ex-Oblivion and taking that point so comfortably.
And now the hellish time starts for Ex-Oblivion.
And you see the question mark.
Push.
They also take an aggressive stance while the payload has a lot to move up. Taking that space is really important.
They use the rally, they're going in, they're looking for a fight there, they push Doge into their team, toast him instantly, they get the Transcendence once again, as they love to do every time. Now they get a rally against them, they do get a Graviton as gets a... They hit the Salt Barrier, they hit the Shatter, they get everybody, the Diva Bump goes in, can the Diva Bump do damage? No, everybody survives that one, but the payload is closing in on the point. SFX
Rennie
is
gets his mech back.
Whoa, gets the mech
only
back.
for half a second though.
Gets the mech, loses instantly once again. SFX is holding on so nicely. The Graviton is being used once again. Doge gets cut out there. SFX is holding barely on. The payload's moving forward, and we're going to the final map. We are going to Lijiang.
I'm excited for Lijiang Towers. As you know, these teams will be playing Goat Slot, but there's 2 maps in Night Market and Gardens where you can play DPS compositions.
And honestly, Toasty deserves this play of the game after that play there.
He's not only healing his team, but he's like, I'm gonna do the damage as well. Your Ryan dies, your Brig picks up the hammer of the Ryan and just starts doing this damage into the Grav.
Oh, yeah,
98% kill participation.
Holy smokes, that is a lot. So, yeah. Been showing quite something nice right now, and we are going to Lijiang for the last match. Now we just have to wait for a moment if both teams are instantly ready, and if they are, we can probably instantly head into that. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are on the final map of this grand final between Question Mark and Ex-Oblivion. We're going through Lijiang Tower. I'm Alenvil, one of your casters, and with me is IQ. Welcome back, IQ.
Hi, how are you doing? No, I'm joking, I'm joking. I'm gonna make this a common occurrence now. I'm gonna ask you how you are at the end of every map.
Sounds good, yeah.
DPS composition gonna come out from the side of from Question Mark and Standard Goats from the side of Ex Oblivion. They're gonna notice the DPS comp and probably switch off to either Monkey, Moira, or just keep the Rhine and get a Moira.
Oh, they're going with the Reapers. Oh no, okay. They're
going to Sombra Floats with a Moira. Now the idea for this is Moira doesn't take as much damage as Zen does versus the Pharah. They can take point control quite easily with the Monkey and then fight from there.
So we see Rene gets instantly toasty, so there is one of the DPS already gone. That pharmacy didn't work out in their favor in that part, and right now they're just rolling over them, and Kodowski gets a pick off there, but I don't think that will be enough for them in that moment, and yes, Kodowski is barely holding on, gets blown up as well, and this is a claim point for Ex Oblivion now again.
That was really clean from Ex Oblivion. They're gonna see though that Question Mark are switching back to that Standard Goats as you would after getting rolled that hard by this composition. Gonna switch off back to that normal Goats matchup. However, I think they're gonna keep the Sombra, and the Moira to use the ultimates that they have to win the fight. Oh, space again, an instant pick.
Yeah, and that's the thing that Sombra can do. I think there was a hack beforehand on him, and then they just took him out, and that is how you just use the Sombra in this situation, a bit of like an assassin case in that. And Kodowski goes down to Rene there as he gets bashed into the corner. Straight Bro answers instantly with another death there, and right now it's just being an awkward situation for them.
See, Kodowski was trying to die there, but at the side of Ex Oblivion, they made it as long as possible. Took their time killing Kodowski, and that forced the Lucio thinking, oh, Kodowski can survive here, I'm gonna go help him. But then Ex Oblivion committed their cooldowns to killing Kodowski, getting the stagger, and they got the Lucio too. And they're gonna be coming up on this EMP here as well. As I said before, can get rid of basically all the cooldowns of the enemy team.
That EMP hit, they get a few picks off of that one, and that looks like a really nicely won fight from them.
Really clean fight coming out. The only thing I would say that they committed the rally and the Moira, which you could argue was not needed there to win the fight. They should initiate with that EMP and then decide from there, do I need that extra damage from Moira? Do I need the extra healing as well from the Brigand Moira ult? And then commit them after the EMP. You can see the Kodowski and his team, they're going to go through the high ground here to avoid getting any sort of hacks going off. They take that control, drop down as a team. This denies the space for the Sombra to get the hacks off.
Oh, Diva Bump goes in, nobody gets taken down, they force out the Transcendence. Nice shatter there from Kodowski. Strabo gets dodged with that one, they get another pick off there. They could barely move onto the point and stop the overtime from going. Right now, their two members still going, and Rene and Spacer go down, and it's a counter claim right now.
Now, it'll be interesting to see as Question Mark have their Grav Diva Bomb combo if they're able to roll this point. You see Goishas switches off into that Zen role, and Rene picks up the Zarya role. As they're playing the Sombra Goats, there's no need for the Diva when you have a Reinhardt. The Zarya enables him a lot more.
Yeah, there is the Graviton, so they're doing some with that one. Can they get a few victims? Halo gets their victim, and Kodowski gets FX as well, and Leona gets Shiveron, and they hold on once again. I'm gonna be interested how they... I'm not sure if you want... I would have actually kept the Diva rather than the Zarya, to be honest, for my taste, with the Sombra together.
There are debates on what to do, but as my personal opinion is keeping that Zarya allows for a grab, and not only allows for a grab, it allows bubbles for your Rhine to take a lot more space that the Diva doesn't give.
Kodowski just lost a shatter, unfortunately, with that one. It didn't go in anything. Diva Bump comes in. There's a shatter right now, and that kind of buys him right now quite a bit of time, so that was kind of an interesting play, actually, from Halo. That bought him the time not to get toasted there, and Kodowski gets a good fire strike on Spacer, and now they're just pushing their advantage right now. We're at 82%, so right now it's a bit of an iffy situation for Ex Oblivion.
They've been holding onto this EMP for a long time. I'm not sure if they're waiting for any ult combos to come online, but they're being very scarce with the use of the EMP.
95%? They need to touch the point now. They need to get in there somehow. 79, 89, 99? Nobody gets there, and that is the winning point for Question Mark. So 1-0 Question Mark on Li Zhang.
It's crazy to see Ex Oblivion was so comfortable in that first hold and then just rolled from there. Coming in to attack, as we saw from last game, Question Mark have a pretty comfortable defense when they have control over a point. And Oblivion weren't able to build enough ultimates and come over Question Mark. Even though they had that EMP, it looked like they wanted to wait a bit more to get a few more ultimates online to ensure a team win. But however, Question Mark used their ultimates in a smart way and basically didn't allow Oblivion to build their ultimates to win with the EMP.
Yeah, that's definitely something that, and I felt like the MP was I prefer the Diva. You say the Zarya is a good choice. I feel like just the Diva is a better combination with the MP in general because you can take down the Reinhardt shield without any problems. But yeah, both sides make sense, and now we're going into the fight there. Both teams are going for the standard GOATS comp that they've been showing all time right now. Klodowski gets a charge off, but doesn't really get anything with that one. We see both teams kind of brawling around the point. The point is now finally able to be contested, but nobody's really getting anything out of that. Nobody's dropping dangerous low. Klodowski was the closest. They do get the rally first on the side of Question Mark. Perhaps they can push their advantage once again. They barely stop the point from being claimed, and the point gets claimed, and that was a great shatter from Doge. Can they take advantage of that one? And they get Klodowski with that one, and this looks like that's finally the way to turn out this fight.
Now you see that both teams playing around that pillar as you normally would do in a mirror matchup on this map. It's a race for who builds the most ultimates, but you see the ultimates fastest, I should say. Toast gets his rally off, but you see that Question Mark aren't pushing forwards. This is due to them not having the cooldowns, being able to push forwards. They have the rally, but they're not confident enough without the speed boost and the bubbles to use to allow the Rhine to take the space. So Doge comfortably held forwards, built his shatter, and got a huge shower off and managed to win that fight. See, both teams going to come up with their Grav Diva Bomb combo. It'll be interesting to see how they use this, because as both teams have their support ults too. It's anyone's game for this fight.
Yeah, there goes the Graviton, so they trapped him quite a bit. They did force out the Transcendence, they forced out the Sound Barrier as well, so there are 2 ults already gone. That was a good shatter there from Klodowski, goes down for that one. Marks Graviton even went into the Diva defense matrix. Renee gets 2 picks off there. Halo loses the mech, and this is a 1 fight for Oblivion here.
Now the main fault you could notice there is Strabor on the Lucio initiated with the beat drop. Now you realize on the enemy team they have their Grav Diva Bomb combo, they have their shatter. Using beat drop to engage is not the right idea there. You need your beat drop to either counter the Diva Bomb or counter the shatter. And overall in the long fight, Oblivion didn't even need to use any support ultimates to win versus the Grav. And they're going to have a huge advantage coming into this last fight.
Yeah, the Diva Bomb comes in, can it get any victims? No, it can't. Their shatter unfortunately went on the wrong side as well. Rene gets Klodowski, and they're just cleaning up, and this should be the even one, and we're going probably to a match 3 as it looks like right now.
And you see there, as I've noticed, you can use Diva Bombs to take space from the enemy team. However, Goshas has the Transcendence. They can ignore the Diva Bomb, push forward. That's the idea that Question Mark wanted to do. They want to push forward using their Diva Bomb, but however, on the side of Oblivion, they can push forward knowing that the Diva Bomb won't kill them, push in with the Transcendence, and as Question Mark have that baby Diva, there's no DM to save them from any incoming damage onto the Reinhardt, so they can use that as an advantage to push forward, knowing they're not going to take any damage because of the Transcendence, and knowing there's no baby Diva to block them doing the damage. They have a huge win condition. They have a huge advantage to win that fight.
Yeah. So there was a slight disconnect here, but that doesn't really matter anymore because that point was already taken, and now we're going to go on to the garden, and this could be actually quite interesting because I don't really feel like that a good the ghost combo that both teams have been running is really that secure for this one.
Yeah, you see as well the point, it's very small, right? And it's surrounded by windows and openings that an enemy team playing DPS comp don't need to really take the space, but they have like multiple angles they can poke through. This is why, although you see Oblivion playing that Sombra floats on last map, they won't be playing it here due to those reasons. Both teams are going to come out with a mirror matchup of DPS comp, 3 DPS bull.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting. Klodowski gets hacked. That is actually a nice thing that they can do. They try to put some damage into Klodowski and take down the Wrecking Ball first, so they do have an advantage. They go onto the high ground. Mark barely survives that one. Shiveron gets a good shot there. Halo gets an answer on Doge, but I don't think that's enough right now, and they should probably reset for a moment.
They do get the 2 picks though, so it'll be a quick engagement into the next fight. They managed to contest the point.
Yeah, they managed to contest the point barely. Renegade takes down Hello in the Sombra duel. And right now we see the Wrecking Balls just going. Kulowski drops Dangerous Low, but they do get 2 picks off of that one. Kulowski go down as well. Renegade gets a good hack off there, and they're just barely holding on. And
Looks like Question Mark might take this back.
They're switching back and forth because they're running similar comps, so it's kind of interesting how it's gonna build out. Doge goes down to Halo once again, and it's finally a claim for Question Mark.
Now the mistake you saw coming up from Ex-Oblivion there is they got that pick onto the Hammond. They should have used that as a chance to just take point control. However, you see Doge pushing forward, trying to get more picks. He gets hacked, and he isn't able to push forwards.
They need a pause, okay. So there's some issue seemingly right now on the side of Ex-Oblivion.
So as I was saying as well, Doge gets hacked, he gets killed, and that takes away, as the Hammond is the huge point presence on the enemy team, on the either team playing this DPS comp. Now, usually with Goats, you see is a lot of sustain, but with this comp, it's a lot of poke and damage potential, but not a lot of sustain. As soon as you lose that ball, who can contest that point for a long time and hold that point by himself, it's hard to contest. And then Toast coming in with a following up kill after Doge dies allows Klodowski to come back, as he had the quicker spawn, to come in and take the point control, allowing the Pharaoh to move onto the point as well, safely, and using the walls to deny with a Widowmaker in Spacer to have an angle on her, allowing them to take that huge control over the point and cap it.
Yeah, and I think we're now waiting for the player to be back in, but I find it interesting. So since you said you've been a bit coaching, so I've been seeing both sides, just the support comp. I find it kind of interesting. Both sides run a Mercy, but for example, Question Mark run a Lucio, and on the other side of Ex-Oblivion they run an Ana. So could you? Okay, so if the pause would have been longer, I would have probably gone more into that, because I feel like the
Ana would give you a lot more healing, right? So you enable your main tank to do a lot more. However, the Lucio gives you a lot of CC.
Oh, the EMPs are both out there. Spacer gets a good pick off there. Doge got Mark as well, and Klodowski goes down as well, and that EMP won them that fight seemingly.
You see Halo came out with his EMP as well afterwards, but the damage was already done by Ex-Oblivion that the EMP was useless, wasting that ultimate, unfortunately. Both teams are going to come back with Toast having the barrage. However, he doesn't have much follow-up on that. Now, with this comp, such as a spread-out comp, you're not going to get a huge barrage versus like a composition like Goats. You're going to have to either choose to get one person or 2 people. Otherwise, you see a lot of players just hold on to that barrage because they're not familiar with knowing that it's only going to get you 1 kill, and that's good enough with the barrage.
Yeah, they think more about that highlight play, and I like how Klodowski goes just into the back line and the whole team just turns on him. The Justice goes out, gets 1 pick off there, so they do get it, and the answer Justice comes out, and that was a good pick off there for
Severion providing a lot more justice than Toast, as you said as well. The main thing to notice with that fight is, with this composition, you're not wanting your main tank per se to be engaging the fights, especially when you're playing against a Sombra. You're just asking to be killed. You want your DPS to get set up in positions to threaten the backline, actually get some space onto the point, and then send in your Wrecking Ball while the Sombra is distracted on the DPS.
Ooh, Spacer gets the instant pick on Toast. And Klodowski goes back into the backline once again, throws down the mines. The minefield doesn't do much. Doge gets it, Klodowski, and Strayborg kills the Ana. Whoa, the Mercy just got murderous there. And now it looks like the fight is a bit turning in the favor of Question Marks right now. After that Mercy got bloodthirsty and got a kill off there.
It's great to see when Mercy's pop out, they're not afraid to pull out that weapon. They're like, I'm going to do the damage for this team as well. Especially when she kills someone like Ana, it's a huge pick for them. And Mark also contributing a lot into that fight with almost 3 picks. See, coming into this next fight, EMP online for both teams, beat drop online for the side of Question Mark. You'd see, hopefully he hides from the EMP and gets that beat drop off to save his team.
Okay, Halo got the EMP is already gone, so there is the advantage right now. there is the other EMP, so now they do get Doge. Doge goes, barely survives. Shiveron gets the kill off on Kodowski. Meanwhile, during that EMP, Doge almost knocks the Sombra off of the ledge there, and looks like they have to back off once again. We're at 85% right now for question mark, and the point is being claimed on the side of Oblivion, but Kodowski moves on to the point. They're getting to 90% already, so they're gaining an advantage. They can now just win one fight, they can win the whole thing. Leonis goes down there, and this could be the chance. Kodowski dies as well, and Stravos just pulls out the pistol, tries to fight them as well. Mark gets 2 picks off there, so they do get a
Oh my God.
advantage. Oh, another one!
Mark getting 3 kills, 1 gets rezzed, but the fact that he got those picks allows for a soft reset. You see Toast happy to get out, get his team back together, and maybe they can get into this next fight with a number advantage. You see, Toast still has that barrage.
Oh.
See if he uses it to get initial pick on the fight, or he's gonna go for that big highlight play.
Straver pops the Valkyrie, they go in, and Justice goes out, they take out instantly. Unfortunately, Kodowski dies as well. We're at 99. They need to touch the point at least now. They do get the res up. The Justice goes out, instantly died. Toasty accidentally blew themselves up. Spacer gets marked with that one. The mines are getting thrown out there. Straver gets a kill off there on Spacer. Right now, both sides are just hiding in their own minefield, just trying to find a fight here. Straver dies to Doge, so right now there's an advantage, and we just see Kodowski goes down as well. Right now, Leon is the only one there. Kodowski gets a kick on Spacer. Toasty switched over to the Doomfist, going in there. The MP gets popped once again, but Silveron gets a pick off there. Silveron gets 3 for that one, and he wins the map for Oblivion and wins the tournament.
GG's coming out from Oblivion. Now, not only showing they're a heavy goats team, they're showing they're a DPS team as well, showing that flexibility. Usually you'd see teams have one pick either or they're good at, but Oblivion showing a lot of flexibility and impressing me a lot.
Yeah, and that's the beauty right now of our meta right now. You can go goats, you can go other stuff. There's so much you can do right now in the game.
And this really separates like the good teams from the bad teams. Are you able to flex onto other picks? Are you able to counterplay another team? And it shows that the GOATS mirror matchup as well is very important, because it causes the teams like question mark, like questions in their head. Do we counterpick the GOATS, or do we stick to GOATS when we know Oblivion may be better than them? Yeah,
definitely. And do you have any final words before we head off?
Just GG's, honestly. Oblivion comfortably taking this map. They're a new team as well, only been together for a few weeks. So showing this much prowess in tournaments like this, where top OD teams have been competing like question mark, finishing in the top 32 last season, and winning against them comfortably as well. Losing Hollywood though, but winning comfortably overall, shows good signs for teams like this in the future.
Yeah, it was always kind of a breeding ground for new teams. So with that, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you, Sambror, for being our producer. Thank you, IQ, for being here. Thank everybody else who worked behind the scenes to make this tournament actually possible. And then from all of us, goodbye and good night, good day, whatever it is.